I love that you made this transition into talking about the workplace. I do have a question on as I look around, there's a big push about boards, right? Looking at boards, looking at leadership teams. It's one thing to talk about how you support equity and diversity. That's great. I want to see people in positions. Like I want to see them in positions. So, is it appropriate to hire someone based on their gender because you want to intentionally diversify your board? Obviously, they're going to be qualified, but do you believe it's appropriate to be intentional in that way?
Yeah, this is always one of the challenges and the tensions around diversity and and certainly equity. I think is what we're trying to get to, and it's interesting to look at the research and how people have approached this. Organizations, countries, governments have approached this in terms of looking at their own representation and trying to get there and what works. And certainly, if you just kind of leave it to people, groups of people, whether it's an organization or a government, whatever, you might find some just on the periphery, some things starting to move a little bit. But, unless there's some sort of an incentive, right, to really change the status quo, what's going to change it, right? What is actually going to force people to move? And so that brought up the question around quotas, right? And well, we're just going to establish a quota system. And the reality is that quotas do work. Okay, they do. Obviously, if you have a quota and it's by regulation, policy, law, that it's going to happen. And guess what? It changes things. It's one way to do it. It's a very kind of we're going to force it. We're going to put a wrench on it and force it to happen at this point. But it does work. It does have a lot of negative consequences to it because, again, people don't like feeling like there's some sort of lack of choice and I think there's a lot of people who don't want to be that diversity hire, right? That I don't want you to think, I don't want to be hired because I'm a woman or because, I'm a person of color. Yeah. No, so the other one is targets. And targets is a different way to kind of think about it, somewhere in between, just kind of leaving it, hey, you should be doing this, to here's your quota. No, targets are kind of in the middle. It's a goal, right, that we're going to shoot for. Targets work really well. Goals work if you set formal, explicit goals, targets for organizations, they work really well. So that's another way to think about doing this. The other part of this we haven't talked about is kind of the pipeline, the process for this. And remember that, again, research shows if you will at least start with a diverse pool of applicants or people that are being considered, whether it's a board or a senior leadership team position, odds are you're going to get more diverse selects. It's just the numbers work out that way. Because the problem is you always, the excuse that we hear is, oh, there's not enough people who applied, or there's not enough people in the pipeline. It's a pipeline problem. Trust me, there are plenty of qualified people out there. The question is, are you out there really getting outside your normal methods of finding these people and getting them into the pool to do it? I'll leave you with this one. One interviewee we had, senior leader in education, he said, when I'm hiring for a senior leadership position and I'm thinking about the pool of applicants out there, I'm not thinking about, how do I get somebody to apply? I'm thinking about what's keeping the most qualified applicant from applying.
Oh, I like that.
So you're just kind of flipping it on its head. It's like, I hadn't thought about it that way. Instead of putting it on, it's on us, it's like them. It's like, what's keeping them from applying? What's keeping them from being in my pool today? Why am I not seeing them? And that gets you back thinking about it in a very different way to get to solutions, I think, that are much more effective.
I really like that approach. I'm not going to use the expression that everyone else says. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to permanently borrow it from you. And I will be utilizing that at some point.
We call that, since you're a dude, we call that bro-appropriation, right? But only if you're stealing from women. So I guess it's not really bro-appropriation if you're stealing it from another dude. I don't know. But that's what women would call it if you steal their idea.
I'm using that. I'm using that too. I guess I can't use it. I can't use it. My wife,
You
I'll tell my wife, she'll use it.
you can heat me all you want.
but, so so by so I the token question comes up, and it makes me just, as you talked about that, I understand some people don't want to be that token.
Hello, everyone. This is Alex Tremble from GPS Leadership Solutions. And if you found this last interview to be awesome, spectacular, and actually you benefited from it, let me tell you, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Visit the alextrembleshow.com, information below in the description, and that's where you'll find the full uninterrupted interview. And I'm telling you, there's so much great content you'll hear from this past leader, as well as all the other leaders we've already interviewed. So remember, don't just look back, reach back. If there's someone who you think will benefit from this interview or any of the other interviews, make sure you share it with them. Click the like, click the subscribe, and as I always like to end all my sessions, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.